I've been doing this thing where I've been going one by one through the board of directors of the National Endowment for Democracy to highlight their role in completely abusive and anti-democratic practices weaponized domestically against us, the people paying them. And I've been focused on the board of directors for the National Endowment for Democracy because they are the ones who hire and fire the officers. The NED board structure is set up specifically to stop the democratic process. I'm going to read now from page 18 of Walter Raymond, the architect of NED. Before he went on to be the main point person for Project Democracy, the National Security Council code name for the National Endowment for Democracy's formation project. For 18 months between 1982 and 1983, he led Project Democracy. He came up with the structure about NED's four cores: the IRI for the Republican Party, the NDI for the Democrats, the Solidarity Center for the unions, the CPA for Chamber of Commerce. For 30 years, he'd been an intelligence operative before he was tasked to do that as the head of the intelligence directorate of the White House National Security Council. So in 1954, he begins doing intelligence work for the U.S. military. Then he becomes a political and information officer with the State Department. As we covered, at that time, 48% of all political officers in the political affairs branch of the State Department were not State Department officers. They were CIA under diplomatic cover. Does that for 10 years. And then he goes to work directly for the CIA for 12 years. From 1970 to 1982, he led clandestine media operations for the CIA and was awarded the CIA Intelligence Medal of Merit. This is the guy who came up with this brilliant, clever structuring of NED as an outside enterprise to be used as an outside NGO, to be paid for the government, but to be not formally the government, so it can do the dirty work the CIA wants to do, but doesn't want to get caught holding the bag of the dirty ops if the operation gets busted. So when we go to Walter Raymond, CIA Intelligence Medal of Merit winner for secretly controlling the media via the CIA, what you'll see is a document called Summary of Proposal for a Study of Programs to Develop Democratic Forces Abroad. There were not enough programs to develop democratic forces for the CIA to develop political parties, to infiltrate unions, to control newspapers. I wonder why CIA Director General Michael B. Hayden's on the board of NewsGuard. Establishing such programs require the utmost care. This is coming from the guy who for 12 years led secret media, clandestine media operations for the CIA, and at this time was running the intelligence directorate of the National Security Council. The people we put in charge will have to exercise the utmost care. Those managing NED's programs must know the international political environment they're working with. The programs must be free of the implication they're being run by the U.S. government, says the U.S. government. These programs must be free of the implication that they're being run by the government, even though they're being funded by the government, coordinated with the government, but they must be free of the implication so that they can serve as our plausible deniability cloak, our NSC 10-2 get out of truth free card, so that we can not be lying to Congress when we tell them, oh, the CIA had nothing to do with this. This is run by outside NGOs. But the reason I bring this up right now is to draw your attention to this line right below it. They may need the NED family programs, NED, NDI, IRI, Solidarity Center, CPA. They may need substantial government funding, but must not be vulnerable to alternation of party control and policy. Do you see how dastardly this is? Let this wash over you. This is the U.S. government, the CIA, and the intelligence wing of the National Security Council proposing to set up the #1 head of the censorship industrial complex 40 years ago. It's not all it does, obviously. It does rent-a-riots, it does smuggling networks, I was going to say rigged, but I'll be charitable and say influences elections, you name it. Every manner of intelligence sabotage. They've got specialists who are professionally trained to do it. That's saying they're going to need substantial government funding while free of the implication that it's being run by the government. Every year, they're going to need lots of government money, but must not be vulnerable to alternation of party control and policy. So this is the CIA and the intelligence wing of the White House saying NED has got to get a permanent taxpayer money spigot. We have to design NED in a way that they get their money, substantial government funding, regardless of who wins the election. They can't be vulnerable to alternation of party control, meaning an election happened and the electorate voted for a political party led by a candidate who doesn't want to do the shit NED wants to do, the CIA wants to do, or policy. If we decide, actually, we don't want to do this here.